since Mexico, where they were regarded, in my view, very naive side. In this tournament, they are not very naive. In this tournament, they defend most of the time and attack.
They've learnt a lot, that's for sure. That's for sure. Beckenbauer has described Ruud Gullit as probably the most perfect player in the world. I'm not sure what exactly he means by that, but he obviously holds the Dutchman in very high regard. And that sort of thing, is that a psychological ploy to sort of go publicly praise that the opponent that you'd know all about psychological? John Watson at the Volkspark Stadion, and the Dutch, as predicted by many people, dominating the play in the first half. And who would you say could resist that sort of attack by the Dutch? But we do know our history, don't we? And it still seems that the Germans are likely to take out the match. Australia is to play host to a feast of soccer with the Gold Cup tournament next month, and it'll be a rare opportunity to see some of the mightiest teams in the world in action. Most important of all is that the kids get to see the Brazilians, the Argentinians, the Saudis and the Socceroos. So we thought we'd shout the kids to some of the games. Via the SBS, you can get free passes to children under the age of 16 to the following 4 games. In Adelaide, Argentina versus Saudi Arabia on the 6th of July. In Sydney, Australia versus Saudi Arabia on July the 9th. In Melbourne, Brazil versus Saudi Arabia on July 13. And in Canberra, the 3rd and 4th place playoff on July 16. So if you're a junior club coach or a school team coach, why not take your team to the Gold Cup, courtesy of SBS? Here are the numbers to ring. Adelaide 08340 0688. Sydney 02629 1800. Melbourne 03537 2533, and Canberra 062 480 614. For your free children passes, ring those numbers today, and today only from 9 o'clock. Good luck. We'll be back in a moment.
No one's far from anyone anymore.
You are watching exclusive coverage of the 1988 European Nations Soccer Championships, brought to you with the assistance of OTC, the people who keep you in touch with the world.
The world is closer now with OTC. OTC.
Australia's Socceroos are set to take on the world's best. See the likes of Frank Farina and Oscar Quino live when they clash with triple world champions Brazil, current World Cup holders Argentina and Saudi Arabia. See the Socceroos in the bicentennial Gold Cup Series when they kick off July the 6th to the 17th in Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney and Canberra. Tickets through Bass now. The bicentennial Gold Cup.
Tomorrow morning, the second semi-final of the European Nations Soccer Championship. A revitalized Italian team faces the super-efficient USSR. Live via satellite by OTC, the second semi-final of the European Nations Championship, only on SBS.
Next in Australian Mosaic, Not for Hire, a documentary on the very competitive business of taxi driving.
Yeah, some people, they look inside, and then if the driver is Asian, then try to take another one next to me. If he want to do or she want to do, I'll let them do, you know. I don't care.
Meet today's cabbies in Not for Hire on Next Australian Mosaic, Wednesday, 7:30, SBS.
The Maltese Connection, a beautifully illustrated book that explores the origins of Australia's Maltese community and the existing bonds between Australia and Malta. Available for $19.95 plus $3 postage. And due to popular demand, SBS Marketing is pleased to present a 3-hour video cassette of the SBS TV series for $50 plus $3 postage. Send to SBS Marketing, 4 Cliff Street, Milsons Point, or phone 964 2888.
Saturday night, Man is Not a Bird, a stark film from the director of Montenegro, Dusan Makavejev.
Ti ćeš zadovoljan, Mato. Bio je pre tebe jedan Makedonac. Poginuo na separaciji. Pa onda jedan fini drug iz Bosne. Uboli ga nožem.
A harsh collage of life and love in a small town, overshadowed by heavy industry.
Šta kažeš, kakva sam?
Man Man is Not a Bird, our cinema classic, Saturday night at 8:30, SBS.
And welcome back. And in the first semi-final of the 1988 European Championship, 0-0 at the Volkspark Stadion between West Germany and the Netherlands. But you wouldn't have thought so, Raleigh, it was a rip-roaring first half, and we could have had 3 or 4 goals, perhaps.
Yeah, they played the same against Soviet Union and still lost the game. You see, they have opportunities and they're attacking. It's the best 45 minutes they played in a tournament so far, but still the result is still not there.
I don't know. I think they're playing better than against the Soviet Union because they're not playing those long balls as aimlessly as they did against the Soviets.
The difference is Van Basten is in. He's creating chaos.
Yeah.
He's such a great player, and he takes the man on and does whatever he wants. So.
Yeah, I think the difference between that game too is that both Hulett and Van Basten are in fine form, which they weren't, in good touch. But for me, only one team in the game first half.
And I like the fact that both of them are working real hard. Hulett dropping back
Dropping back, I think it's a better position. We mentioned it before, that we felt that was a better role for him to play rather than to be playing straight out up front or on either flank.
Also, Germans are paying a lot of attention to...
And here he is, he's in good touch, always a good sign, I think, when you can start doing these things early in the game.
There's Ruud Hulett very early, that's about 4 minutes in, he engineered that little incident.
And there's Van Basten offside, almost like the Ireland goal.
Yeah. Still when he's on a flank, he's a typical sort of crosser of the ball, but I still don't favour that.
Here's Koeman, what a finding passer of the ball, Raleigh. I mean, the first 15 minutes, this guy just completely dominated the game. He sets the move up, and that shot wasn't on target, but for me, he was the dominant player in the first 15 minutes.
Very much the star, wasn't he?
Probably he's the most complete defender in the tournament, really, because he's something new that we haven't seen since Beckenbauer and Kroh. Shirea, you know, we haven't, over coming few years, we haven't had defenders.
Look at this pass.
Now the target here is Van Basten.
Fabulous little pass.
Absolutely, 40-50 meters.
Well, yeah, I mean, you use the word defender reservedly, don't you? He's as much an attacker as a defender,
Oh, yeah,
very creative man.
Absolutely brilliant.
But here's really the first German attack, and it was probably of note. Almost 15 minutes into the game, they've had really only 2 attacks that look like scoring. Right?
German approach was absolutely cautious, and even you could, you know, describe them as very scared, really. But you know, you can't. You see, this is opportunity, first opportunity, and they just
hurried the shot of it.
Yeah.
We mentioned Koeman earlier. This is probably coming up. He makes a back pass, which is probably the only mistake he made in the game.
Away.
But for me, one wonders how much the absence of Litbarski and now Herget.
This is the case. This is the case. You see, when player is such a great player, but also very casual.
He's incredibly casual, Koeman. He must cause flutters of the heart among the Dutch camp.
Especially against Germans, you can't.
Fella's been out of the game a lot. I wonder how much this knock has affected his game. He's disappeared since this incident. And with Litbarski out, and now Herget out.
Well, that might make a bit of a difference to what we've said. I mean, I've said that historically the Germans are likely to get up, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did today.
That's only time.
There's Fuller's header, but those injuries might make a difference today.
Well, particularly the sweeper being absent.
It's a specialist position, and you know, but I don't think so that Beckenbauer would come in a tournament without even having answer to the question. You know. Out of 22 players, that no one can step in as a sweeper.
Sure. For me, the Dutch, I think this is the move where they put together so many passes. Now it's another long ball from Koeman. Beautiful touch from Van Basten and the shot.
Interesting thing is that Koeman, both brothers, plus Bremer, are probably the most constructive on attack and most dangerous. Two Commons are absolutely, you know, participating in a game for all the time for 45 minutes.
The ball just kept coming back to the Germans, didn't it? After the goalkeeper cleared the ball every time, and Vandenborg with that beautiful ball. Van Basten with the header across, and Ingol had to work pretty hard on that one.
Yes, I think this next move really illustrates the dominance of the Dutch in the first half and the type of passing movement they put together.
And the goalkeeper had to hurry.
This incident coming up now, put together a string of passes with a final strike on goal.
And again, Koeman instigating it.
Here it is now. It's keeping possession.
The masters of the possession game.
So many beautiful touches.
Well, I mean that's a certain philosophy which is important, particularly in European football, is to keep the ball. I mean, if you have the ball, the other team can't do very much with it.
They must be congratulated on this freedom of expression, really, all over the field, which each player participates in. It's a complete footballer in each situation. And plus two great strikers like Gullit and Van Basten participating all over the field. They're just complementing so beautifully each other.
And the Dutch kept marching on. Created another one a couple of minutes after that.
Which with Van Basten again. I think the dominant thing, apart from the Dutch totally on top in the game, and what we've seen so far is the fine form of Van Basten and Gullit. They're very active, they're involved in all the attacks.
And a very important...
And Erwin Koeman claimed that he was pushed there, or that he was innocent. I think the referee gave a free kick the German way.
Yes, that'll be a free kick.
No, I didn't think it was a free kick at all, really.
No. It's very difficult to give anything in a situation as such, even if it was really. That's a minor.
He will play sweeper, or whether they will.
Really, I think Beckenbauer at half-time has probably the biggest challenge of his career now. Three key players, or two players out, key players out, another one injured, if you like.
Never so inferior in any of the matches so far in Germany. Never was so inferior as they are at the present time.
Certainly not in the first match, which was really the only match of real concern to them against Italy.
Yeah.
They were dominated by Italy, but not quite to this extent. And the problem, as I said, is that he does have a couple of players injured, or certainly one of them has gone off. That's Herget, the sweeper, and the defender from Bayern Munich, Vogler, has come on. That will present a bit of a problem for Beckenbauer, eh?
Yes, as I said, Beckenbauer played that position. He was the greatest player in the world in that position, and I'm sure that he wouldn't coach the country in the European Championship without solution to the position that he used to play.
Yes, but you have to have a Beckenbauer to play it the way he did.
Yes, fair enough, but I think he would find solution to the problem.
What about the Dutch? Would Michels be saying, keep it the way it is, we're going well, etc.? Would he have a problem?
I don't think he could do much more than what they've done first half. They've dominated it. They've restricted West Germany to just a couple of effective strikes on their own goal. They've played well. They've kept possession nicely, and I couldn't see what he could do other than to keep going the same way.
Still in 45 minutes, really, there was no chess match situation. Right? They haven't had a clear-cut chance as yet that you can say.
Well, they haven't checkmated the defence, as it were. It's just in the middle of the park.
They are playing them on the park for 45 minutes, and the score is still 0. And could be one opportunity and we lose 1-0, like Soviet Union. Exactly.
What about Ronald Koeman? I mean, we've been sitting here saying what a great star he's been in the first half. The man who instigated every Dutch move. I mean, would Beckenbauer should he do something about him?
That would pose him probably greater problem than looking after Gullit and Van Basten, because with the long balls, 40-50 meters, he is exact model of that root crawl.
Well, what would be his solution to that?
But I think Germans are doing everything possible. They are just outplayed by the far better opposition at the moment.
It's difficult to counter, Les, because also you have Rijkaard at the back as well. So if somebody was to start picking Koeman up, he would come forward.
Also,
it's the beauty of having two total footballers in the centre of your defence. I mean, they can attack or defend with equal skill.
You have three good attacking players from behind. Rijkaard and two brothers, Koeman. Right?
Yes.
So it's very difficult to maintain. Each team in a tournament so far, Russians had one defender, Italy has Maldini, right? But no one has three defenders to attack.
Well, that's the Dutch way, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
They do take risks with that in the way that perhaps their defensive qualities aren't as good. But that's the story with the Dutch. That's their advantage. Let's go back now to the Volksparkstadion. Our commentators there, John Motson and Bobby Charlton. John Watson, they call them the Dutch masters, and despite their ability and their skill, one always doubted whether they had the courage to match it with the Germans. Well, they certainly proved it tonight. Despite the dubious penalty, a deserved victory in the end to the Dutchmen. We'll be back in a moment.
No one's far from anyone anymore.
You are watching exclusive coverage of the 1988 European Nations Soccer Championships, brought to you with the assistance of OTC, the people who keep you in touch with the world.
The world is closer now with OTC. OTC.
Australia's Socceroos are set to take on the world's best. See the likes of Frank Farina and Oscar Quino live when they clash with triple world champions Brazil, current World Cup holders Argentina and Saudi Arabia. See the Socceroos in the bicentennial Gold Cup Series when they kick off July the 6th to the 17th in Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney and Canberra. Tickets through Bass now, the bicentennial Gold Cup.
And welcome back. And the final score in the first of the semi-finals in the European Championship, a win by the Netherlands, 2-1 over West Germany. They're in Saturday night's final. Rally Rasic and Johnny Warren. What a beauty, the whole match. The second half brought the 3 goals. One of them a bit dubious, but perhaps I wonder if you'd agree that in the end, the better team won on the day.
Yeah, for 90 minutes, the Dutch dominated the game completely. You know, there is no question about it. But the decision on